in Tamara's paintings, the woman is not the muse. She is a maker of her own destiny. She is in charge of her life. Work hard for what you want. Don't give up. Things are going to happen. You just keep going and believe in yourself.
Do you have to be the kind of person to receive that level of success?
Yeah, I would like to think not. Throughout history, Poland didn't exist as a country itself. But the identity of the Polish people, yes. So, and how proud they are.
Actually live your life off your talent is such a success.
Yes.
And I think it was very important. She was very proud of that, wasn't she?
Very, very, very.
Cześć, dzień dobry, witam Was. Dzisiaj zaprosiłam gościa bardzo związanego z Polską i z polską kulturą, ale będziemy mówić po angielsku, bo nasz gość gościni jest Amerykanką. Marisa Łempicka, to jest prawnuczka Tamary Łempickiej, słynnej malarki. I zapytam ją o kilka kwestii, zresztą znamy się już bardzo długo, więc w każdym razie teraz przyjdę na angielski, ale tutaj zaraz będą się pojawiać napisy. Hi Marisa, it's so nice to see you. We know each other for quite a long time. And I want to talk about your great-grandmother, but also about yourself. And so first of all, let's start.
Yes.
So, your grandmother is a great painter, a legend also. But I wanted to ask, do you have any personal memories of her?
Yeah. Well, Tamara was my prababcia.
Yes.
So I know that word. I've learned a few words in Polish. That's one of them. Yes, I have so many amazing memories. I was lucky enough to spend several summers with Tamara in a beautiful villa in Mexico, in Cuernavaca. The home was called Tres Bambús, which means three bamboos, the trees. And it was an amazing place. And she passed when I was 9, so several summers, yes. But I remember I think the first time I met her, she really caused an impression on me. It was almost like meeting the queen. Yes, I grew up with looking at her books and her paintings in books, and then I knew she had been a great painter. But meeting her, it was, she was so regal. She had such a presence. She was magical to me, this woman already in her 70s, but such a presence, such a strength. I remember her outfit. She loved fashion. And
she was a diva.
She was a total diva. But in these days she was wearing, she designed this, it was long tunics and a big matching hat. And she had it in every color and pattern. So imagine she was 1975 and she's wearing this long tunic in leopard or zebra print with a matching hat. And then the biggest jewelry with gold and diamonds that I have ever seen. Perfect makeup, perfect red lips, and of course her French perfume.
So definitely a very kind of extravagant grandma.
Yes, definitely not your typical great-grandmother, not your typical abuelita or nona or yeah.
So definitely not a typical grandma.
No.
However, Polish women are not very typical, not what you may think, in general, I mean. So I'm curious, what do you think about her, not even talking about an artist, but as a woman, what do you think were her, biggest, maybe very good or maybe difficult, traits or qualities? And I'm also curious, how do you think would she actually find herself in our times, in modern times?
Yes. Well, Tamara, of course, was an extremely strong woman. And like many Slavic women, many Polish women, she was extremely resilient and hardworking. Determinate. Whatever Tamara wanted, Tamara got.
We're trying to do the same, right?
Yes, but through hard work, she really believed in hard work. I love the story. She said when she first moved to Paris, she started painting to survive. She had lost all her possessions in the Bolshevik Revolution, and so she started painting to survive, really. But so she told me she would paint day and night, but she would only stop for a bath and champagne. So you have to know your priorities, right? But she said, I'm going to work day and night. And she told me, I love this story, I decided I'm going to become a portrait painter. And not any portrait painter, the most famous portrait painter in Paris and eventually the world. So she had this vision, right, of greatness. And she knew she could accomplish this through hard work. So she would work day and night, but with a reward. So she told me after every painting she would sell, she would buy herself a diamond bracelet. And she would not stop working and selling her paintings until she had diamond bracelets from here to here.
That's a very story, like a rich story, but also in a sense, in a good sense also.
Well, because I think it has many meanings. It means work hard for what you want. That it's okay to show your success because after you've worked hard. And then for me, learning about especially Polish history, there's always, especially in those days, this fear that somebody's going to come, that things are not safe. I've heard from many people that have lived through wars and revolutions, something's going to happen, somebody's going to come after you. So you got your diamonds and you can flee if you need to again.
But for me, what is actually interesting to remember, I'm also thinking about me, but probably what I see a lot of my friends is that we work a lot, but we forget to reward ourselves. That is very important. Yes. What you say, that she remembered, maybe that was her key to success also.
Yes. Work hard, but also reward yourself. Because that way you keep having energy to keep doing the hard work, right? We don't burn out.
That's very...
Yes.
Okay.
She was a very smart woman.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now I want to move a little bit to her success nowadays, because probably, I don't know if everybody knows, but like her paintings are very popular among celebrities, movie stars, but not only. So what do you think what is the reason for that? I mean, what is the most appealing thing about her work that is appealing to modern people?
Well, like you say, she's Madonna is one of her biggest collectors, and she started collecting her in the 1980s, very, very early, really. Barbara Streisand, Jack Nicholson, the German designer Wolfgang Joop, even Donna Karan, the American designer, had one of her paintings. But I think, because I think especially the stars like her, because Tamara is truly one of the first painters, I would say almost in history, that painted women in an independent way, women in a strong way. In Tamara's paintings, the woman is not the muse for the man.
She's the maker.
She is a maker of her own destiny. She is in charge of her life. Not only is she gorgeous, but you can see she's powerful. She's in charge of her life. She's making her own decisions. She's glamorous, but not for the man's view, but for her own view. And I think a lot of stars, and again going back to Madonna, she saw this, and I think maybe in many ways she saw herself reflected in these things. But really, if you think about art history.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I think the only one I can think that did that I also love, and she did in a very different way, is are you familiar with Susan Valadon?
No, actually, I have to be honest, I'm not.
She's contemporary to a little bit earlier than Tamara, but she's one of the first ones that paints women like in a pajama, smoking a cigarette, and not in a maybe a little overweight, and just kind of not in this glamorous way. So women more in a domestic way, and not in this for the man's pleasure, but it was more for her own pleasure.
But Tamara focused more on the glamour.
Yes, of course.
Actually.
And then fabulous nudes as well. We can't forget
Of
about,
course.
yes, very sensual
Yes.
nudes. Almost scandalous if we think about it.
And also, I was a guest at the premiere of the musical.
Yes.
Lempicka very recently. I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it. So, and for me, I mean, I'm very interested. That relates to me. But like, so what do you think that made the people who did the musical also wanted to tell the story?
Yeah.
What is most appealing in your opinion that makes?
I think I spoke with Carson Kreitzer. She's the woman that wrote the script, and she said she likes scripts of difficult women. And then, at least in the United States, I know she's a lot better known here in Poland, especially in the last few years. But in the United States, her art is very well known, but people know nothing about her. So she is the most known unknown artist. People
Very strange.
Yes, very strange. So people are familiar with her art. They've seen it because it's been used in the sets of movies and book covers. There's even a video game with her art in the background.
Really?
So people are familiar with it, but they don't know who she was, what she lived through, that she was a woman. So I think Carson really wanted to tell Tamara's stories because people, again, didn't know anything about her.
Okay, that's very. So her art stayed, but you want to show her as a person, personality.
And even here, I think a lot of people, again, they might have seen her art, but they don't know much about her as a person.
True.
And what she went through, And I think in many ways, her life is so inspiring and so timeless and so contemporary today. I mean, what she lived 100 years ago, but she was so ahead of her time.
I think so, definitely. But now I want to ask you something else. Do you think that you're similar to her?
In some ways, I think I'm a little easier. Tamara's a very, very strong personality.
Oh, you are strong.
Yeah, I'm strong, but in a different way. I'm more, I don't want to say kind, because she was kind when she wanted, but I guess I have a softer way about me. I'm not maybe so cutthroat. Tamara had to be cutthroat because, again, she had to survive. She went through some really hard
But that's
times.
what's actually interesting. Do you have to be the cutthroat person to receive that level of success?
Yeah, I would like to think not. I would like I'm finding my own way. I'm still finding my own way, and you and I talk about this. I think we can bring people up with us, and I'm always say, let's shine the light. Let's bring light. Let's inspire and empower. Let's elevate us and others with us. I don't need to treat people unkindly to make me feel better or more powerful. The thing is, I already know who I am.
Yeah.
I don't need to validate. Again, I never went through the things that Tamara went. And I think it was another generation too. These women, the way they were educated, there was not a lot of praise, My mother told me, for example, she was studying ballet and her ballet teacher was a Russian lady. And my mom was the best in the ballet class, but she was always giving her the hardest time. Be better, practice more.
So maybe now we're more aware of the mental state of artists, but of people in general, and how we take care of them more.
Yes.
And maybe they were pioneers. Maybe isn't it true that just the fact that she was one of the very first women painters at all, so she was
always
pushing and fighting.
Yeah, and always having to prove herself. I think some things we're better. I think women don't have to prove themselves as much now. I mean, we see women in every field. Imagine in Tamara's time, many women didn't even have a bank account. She was one of the first generations that women could have a bank account.
And she was actually really earning.
Yes, a living.
I mean, for me, what's very interesting, important as since I'm doing working in artistic field, to actually live your life of your talent is such a success.
Yes.
And I think it was very important. She was very proud of that, wasn't she?
Very.
Yeah.
For her, she needed to be independent, yes. And she was very proud of she says she became a millionaire by the time she was 28.
Because she lost. So, I mean, if it wasn't for history, she wouldn't even start working.
No,
right?
she'd probably be a socialite, married to Tamary Łempickiej, a lawyer for the Tsar, and live a lavish life. And
who knows? She would never have
been a
painter. Never explored her talent. Yeah. So that's
sometimes through hard times we discover our strength
potential
and our grit and our talent.
Reach your potential, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
And now I want to move back to Poland for a while, because the title, I wanted to create this podcast, these talks, talking about Polish women.
Mm-hmm.
But now I want to talk about you, because you are coming more and more to Poland.
Yes.
So, do you feel Polish?
Yes. We've known each other for a few years now, and I ideally would come at least 3 times a year. So I'm Polish on Tamara's side, which is my mother's side, and I'm also Polish on my father's side.
Mm-hmm.
His family immigrated from Poland to Argentina. So
you are.
I am almost 50%.
But also Tadeusz, he was
Polish, of course. So from Tamara, I'm Polish on both sides, and that's my mother. And from my father, his mother was Polish, and his father was Spanish. So I have a lot of Polish, and I think somehow the blood talks, because
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I come to Poland and it's so comfortable. I feel so. In many ways, it's like coming back home. Just arriving to Warsaw Airport.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there is this kind of movement that I observe, about Polish people in, second, third, fourth generation, like really coming back and looking for their roots. I observed that in the United States, for instance.
Many people also, I know many people that have immigrated to United States or England, and they're moving back here. A lot of people are.
That's true, but also like people who don't even
want to know about their roots.
Speak the language, because I'll move to that. Yeah. But I'll come back to that. But so like, what do you think? What is Polish for you? What does that mean for you now?
Well, I'm extremely proud to have Polish blood, and everybody speaks really good English. So for these generations, like you say, that are coming back, it's very comfortable, because everybody does speak good English. Everybody wants to talk to you too. Because you go to other countries, people might speak English and they don't want to talk to you. Here, people want to talk to you. I think more and more people are becoming more proud of their country. Really, Poland, I've been coming for the last 6 or 7 years now, and I've seen such an improvement, such an energy.
Yes.
People want to do things, people want to create things, people want to work hard, advance, do new things, and you can feel this energy in the air. So it's a great place to come and create, business, art, entrepreneurship.
Like this dynamic energy, life energy, maybe.
Very much so. I mean, we see it even worse. I mean, all these new buildings coming up. I think that's a reflection of this energy that's happening. It's so vibrant. So it is great. And it's nice because, with Tamara, of course, in some ways, she has become like a national treasure for Poland. So it's very nice that people feel very proud about her.
Because I think we are longing for success stories, for inspirations, because we obviously have many heroes, but most of the stories were tragic, we have to say. And especially we're in need of women, inspirations. So that is for sure. Tamara is very atypical.
Yeah, well, and because she's been successful worldwide and abroad. You know, she really she was very proud of her Polish roots, but eventually she became a citizen of the world. You know, with her Polish roots.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, she had kind of no choice at some point, right?
Of course.
So actually, that will be my other question, because life made her travel. But you are a globetrotter a little bit,
Yes.
aren't you? Because you have also this history. You were born in Argentina. No, you were born in the
The
United
States.
States, but then raised in Argentina.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Well, I think for us, a lot of the women in my family, we have hunger for experiencing, for other cultures, for Tamara was very inspired by the Italian Renaissance, for example. You can see this in her paintings. For me, it's meeting people from around the world and learning about new food, new language, art. I love history, architecture. It makes your mind broader and bigger, and understand too humanity. We're so similar in many ways, you know.
Of course. So how would you describe yourself? What percentages, Argentinian, American, Polish, or maybe something more? How would you?
Yeah, no, I think I really feel, again, even if I don't speak Polish, and then I'll get there. You will see.
We'll talk about.
I do feel 50% Polish at least.
Oh.
Yeah, because again, from both sides, I feel a little Argentine, but it's funny, I grew up in Argentina, but I never really, and I love Argentina, it's a great place with great people, but I never felt I belonged there. Somehow, I always knew I was going to leave. I always knew I was going to travel. And I like the United States. I like the idea that everything is possible. That's the American kind of dream. It's becoming harder and harder, honestly. But they still have this attitude, this can-do attitude, that everything is possible. And I enjoy that from the United States.
So now I wanna go back a little to this Polish language, because I don't know if you know that every language has not even vibration sounds, but also it makes your brain work in a different way. So this is also kind of like connection on subconscious levels also to Polish culture. So I would be really like maybe trying to inspire you to take some Polish classes. I know it's hard, but I think if you want to connect to this Polish soul, to me
it's a beautiful language. It sounds really beautiful. I remember Kizet and Tamara, it was like their secret language because we didn't speak. So to me it sounded like a lot of because it's a sound that we don't have in Spanish or in English, you know.
So she would speak with her daughter in Polish. So it was Kizet who kind of like didn't pass the language a little bit.
We lived in the United States, and
it was not her. She was not raised. The Kizet was not
raised in Poland either. She spoke Polish with her grandmother, with Malvina, Tamara's mother, and a little bit with Tamara. But their daily, Kizet grew up in France, in Paris. So their daily was more
French.
More French. And then with us, with the family, we spoke English. That was kind of our language.
So what is now your your mission, and how do you manage the whole legacy? Because we talk more about personality here, her story, your story, but of course there's this huge art legacy. So how do you manage that? Because you come from business background. How was that, transition for you? Because I know that it just happened at some point in your life.
So when Tamara she was an incredible artist, but she was also an incredible businesswoman. She really, I love this story, before Google Alerts, there existed some, they're called clipping services. So I don't know how you call them in Polish, of course.
No, I don't know.
But they're clipping services. They are, so you would hire a company that would cut the newspaper articles from around the world that had your name. So we have these in big, huge folders. So there's articles about Tamara in Polish, in French, in Italian, in English. So there was a worldwide service that kept track of her press.
Okay.
So like a press agent.
She knew how to be her PR.
Yes.
person?
Before, you know.
That was a job.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
Okay.
she was, I think, self-branding. To her, that was so important, you know.
How
And
did
now-
she know? How did she know that?
She was brilliant. I don't know.
Like,
She was
seriously.
ahead of her time. She really, because I think she copied a lot of the Hollywood stars. She admired Hollywood. So I think this was something that the Hollywood stars did for themselves and for their PR. So she copied that.
Okay.
Another thing that she did, she copied from the movie stars. She had some of the best photographers of the day, like Madame Dora, Studio Joffé, Mario Camusi, take beautiful black and white portraits of her. And you see some of her, she's posing like a movie star. And she would autograph these and give these to the press. So when there's a press release about her, they had the picture that she wanted to be in the press, not any picture.
Very smart and it's very modern. I have to say.
Very modern. She was really. They call her the Queen of Art Deco, but I like to call her the Queen of modernism because it's bigger and broader than Art Deco.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
She was the modern woman. You know, she was one of the first modern women. Yeah. But going back to my work. So yes, it's so Tamara was a good businesswoman. Then Kizet, you know, when she passed, Kizet always helped her. She was like a secretary. So Kizet kept track of all the letters. Tamara didn't like to write, so Kizet wrote out all the letters. She was super organized. So she had archives of what the paintings were, you know, the bills, how much was paid for each painting. She was very, very organized. And my mother inherited that task. Mother being in Argentina, it was a lot harder, but she kept, thank goodness, all the archives, and we have all the photographs, all these newspaper articles, art. And then once Mother just didn't have the energy anymore, I started taking over. So this is right before COVID. I was in between jobs. I had moved back to the United States, and Mom was like, "Why don't you take over the management of the estate?" And what is this? It's just, you don't go for school for this. It's just, it's so vast. So we own the copyrights to all of Tamara's paintings. So the copyright law is the family inherits the copyrights to the paintings for 70 years after the death of the artist. And then it goes into public domain. So anybody that wants to use Tamara's paintings for the musical, for a movie, for a book jacket, they have to contact us. We charge them a royalty. We usually can provide the high resolution image. So what's one side, and then we have museum exhibitions. We also need to approve these, all the products, and I developed more the side of the licensing. So we have agreements with Samsung, with Universal Genève, which is a very beautiful watch company. We published some beautiful books with Bosch Publishing from Poland. We're working on an immersive interactive exhibition with a Polish team. So I say we're going to go from Warsaw to the world.
so you kind of took this caring of the family heritage to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, to make it even more visible.
Yeah.
I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you. But I think Tamara's art and life story, it should be known and recognized and remembered.
I agree.
Yeah. So my mission in the end, through all these different things that I am doing, is to leave a legacy behind, to make sure that her name, her art, her place in art history is solidified, is guaranteed.
And what do you think would be her message to modern women, because that was a big part of her identity, I feel.
Yeah.
What would be her message to modern women, especially Polish women? What do you think it would be?
Well, kind of how she lived her life and the story she told to me and to the rest of my family. She said, you have to find what is special in you, what is that gift, that we all have a special gift, what makes you unique and original. Find that gift and work on it. Become the best you can be at that gift that you have. Work hard for what you want. Don't give up. Things are going to happen. You just keep going and believe in yourself. Truly believe in yourself. And she also understood manifestation. Like she understood this visualization of success. The bracelets, she visualized those bracelets before she even had them. She felt them, she visualized the success. So visualize your success and just keep that in mind and just keep going.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I will bear that in mind, but I think it's actually really inspiring because now we're talking about all those motivations and mentality, and what you're saying, she already knew it. Subconsciously.
And sometimes we get distracted and we're tired, we doubt ourselves. But I think we have no option. I think we just have to keep going and believe in ourselves. And I think everybody has a special gift. I like to think that. And
but definitely it's something that I think what you're saying, that she also, it was her main job, painting, but she did so much more than that. She was already organized. She was a mother, of course, but then she was like organizing business-wise, PR-wise.
Yeah. And she would negotiate. She was one of the few, especially female painters, that negotiated her own prices and her own deals. She would close her own deals on selling her paintings. Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
So I think we were talking a little bit before, that is kind of, I think, very Polish, that there's nothing impossible, because sometimes there is no option. You have to do so many roles and things, and that's what maybe makes people great also.
Yeah.
The necessity.
Well, yes. and I think to me, I discovered that Polish women, they have this resilience and this, like you say, they all speak English. They're super educated. They can manage so much, manage so much, and somehow they make it all happen, and they're all beautiful too. I have to say, gorgeous, all of them. But yes, it's probably just because Poland has gone through, through history, so many hard times, and I think it's an identity too. It's interesting to read that there was no Poland for several hundred. Throughout history, Poland didn't exist as a country itself, but the identity of the Polish people, yes. So to me, that's fascinating, and it speaks about the identity of the Poles and how proud they are.
Maybe that's where you're coming also.
Yes.
And
I love to discover. I mean, I'm learning every time, and I love to go to little towns and learn about the music and the food and the costumes and the people. It's and everybody's been so kind and welcoming, and they make me feel at home. So I want to keep coming.
So you're welcome, and thank you so much for this talk, and and I'm sure I'll see you in Poland many more times.
Right? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dziękuję Wam bardzo. Bardzo się cieszę, że udało mi się porozmawiać z Marisą w Polsce, bo właśnie miałam szansę ją poznać między innymi przy musicalu. Zresztą już znamy się jakiś czas, ale ta jej niesamowita energetyczność i taka inspiracja, i rzeczywiście bardzo dużo ciekawość w odkrywaniu korzeni swoich i swojej prababki, która była rzeczywiście na pewno dużą inspiracją nie tylko dla artystów, ale też dla, myślę, w kontekście po prostu bycia Polką. Więc dziękuję i zapraszam Was na kolejny odcinek To ja, Polka. Thank you.
Thank you.